All right, what is good, everybody? Good evening. This is Jay's perspective. How is the green pill community doing? I just wanted to get out here. I promised this video. I didn't even promise. I told a friend of mine that, and we had discussions. We talked. It was more on the subject of the EBT situation, as far as people not taking accountability for their responsibility as far as taking care of their families and things of that nature. So, as we talked, I threw out an idea. She liked it very much because I told her, like, hey, if you got any ideas that you want out there, let me know. And she did. I'm not gonna say her name, but she knows who she is. I'm gonna give her a shout out there, for sure. But let's go ahead and let's delve into this. And before we even get into what I'm about to talk about, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, help your boy get to. We're trying to get to 5,000 at this point. I'm not worried about 1,500 or anything like that. It's gonna come as it comes. Let's get to that 5,000 mark, and let's continue to build the green pill community. But anyway, let's just delve into what we need to talk about. So honestly, this is about accountability. And what I mean by that is there's a lot, and from what I've seen and observed, especially with the EBT situation, it's a lot of people, and specifically adult men and women, that are not taking accountability for what they really need to be doing as far as getting a job. Like, listen, I moved out when I was 18 years old. I've never been eligible for food stamps. And yet I've made a living and been okay and been able to feed my family and do what I need to do. But you got people out here that are talking about, the taxpayers need to essentially, they're the ones that provide for his family and himself. You got women out here and multiple content creators out here bragging about how much they were getting in food stamps, how much food they were getting, posting it on social media. And then when they got caught up, all of a sudden it's everybody else is at fault but themselves. And you're an adult. Like, you need to grow up. You need to stop blaming everybody else, and you need to take accountability for yourself. And that's what this is all about. Like, at the end of the day, this is one of my favorite sayings. I may have came with this myself, but when you need to find who's accountable for the circumstances you're in, all you need to do, you go to that bathroom, you look in that mirror, and you point at yourself. Because at the end of the day, that is who is accountable for what has happened to yourself. This is what a lot of adults have lost sight of when social media really started to blow up, and you got TikTok and you got Facebook and you got Snapchat and you got Instagram. You can blame anybody and everybody but yourself. At the end of the day, go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and you point at yourself, because any time that you're in a bad circumstance, you can't blame the entire world or try to put the onus on anybody else. You have to put it on yourself. And this is what this video is all about. It's like, if I have an issue and I'm going through hard times, I always say it's on me. I don't blame the outside. I don't blame anybody else for what I put myself in position for. It's on me, and then it's on me to clean up whatever mess I put myself into. But what the problem is, because of social media, because of TikTok, because of Instagram, because of Facebook, because of Snapchat, because of all these other platforms that you can go on to, People don't take responsibility for for where they messed up at. And as a result, we have a bunch of unaccountable adults, which means if you have kids, you're teaching them the example of if you mess up, you blame anybody but yourself and you look to the outside to everybody else as opposed to looking internally as to, hey, I put myself in this mess. I need to get myself out of this mess. And I know people personally that do this nonsense, and I try to help them out. But at the same time, if you don't want to help yourself, what do you expect me to do? And that's really what it comes down to. If you can't take self accountability, what do you expect me to do at the end of the day to try to help you out? Because I'm knowing in the back of my mind that, hey, I could try to assist you as much as you want, but you're not gonna take self responsibility for the position that you put yourself into. See, me, I moved out when I was 18. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was getting into, but I did it anyway. And I've had my hard times, and I've went through my hard times, and I'm still ebbing and flowing through that. But I've also took self accountability, and I make sure I work 7 days a week. I don't take a day off at this point. Like I got a sore ankle, my body not feeling well, but at the same time, I've got business and things that I need to handle to make sure that the people that are looking up to me and that need me to make sure that I take care of business are taken care of. That's what a lot of these adults don't realize these days is that when you put yourself in a position where you dig a deep enough hole that you need to actually look in the mirror and see who's really messing up, they will blame any and everybody else, and it's they're not the problem. It's the world that's the problem, and that's the exact issue right there. When you get into a certain position and you see that point A and point B aren't working, and you're a common denominator, at that point you need to change something, as opposed to you making excuses and blaming every and anything else other than you dropping the ball, which I've dropped the ball multiple times. I have no issues admitting that. I've dropped the ball. But at the same time, if you don't find a solution as in to take care of it yourself and be able to realize that, hey, I might need to take a little more self accountability, and I might need to step my game up as opposed to looking for all the excuses in the world to who might have screwed you over, who might have did you wrong, anything that has nothing to do with you dropping the ball. That's what a lot of adults do these days. And that's really a big problem because what you're doing is you're setting the tone for future generations to pretty much, if anything goes wrong, it's anybody but them for the reason why they're in the circumstances they're in. And honestly, that's pathetic. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. And I'm honestly sick to my stomach and fed up with hearing the nonsense and the excuses of why you're in the circumstances you're in when you created them circumstances yourself. I'm not in the best of circumstances right now, and I can admit, like, hey, I dropped the ball because I waited a little too long to do what I needed to do to put myself in a position that I'm going to be in moving forward. But as adults, when you have responsibilities, you have kids, you have people that are dependent on you, you have to make sure you take self accountability. And that's really what this is all about. Like, guys, like, Stop blaming everybody else for the hole you put yourself in, that you dug yourself. It's the equivalent of digging yourself a 6 feet grave, and then you blame somebody else for putting you inside that grave, even though all the circumstances that led to you being there at that point were all on you. Like I already said earlier, I'm gonna reiterate it. If you have issues, go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and point at yourself, because at the end of the day, whatever circumstance you're in, no matter how much you had to do with it, you had something to do with it. So take responsibility. Stop being, you're less than a child. I'm not even gonna call you a child. That's disrespect to them, because they're actually children that are responsible and that will take self accountability. So be an adult and be able to take self responsibility and accountability for what you put yourself into. And yeah, that's what you guys know. I went on my way to make sure that I didn't go on a whole tangent of cussing or going off or anything of that nature. Like, this is a serious video, because it's really an infection, and I blame it on 2020 COVID, that people got way too comfortable as far as not having to go to work, not having to be accountable, relying on checks, relying on the EBTs, as opposed to it supplementing what you needed. You took advantage of the system, and now you guys are seeing the consequences, and now you want to go on these tangents and these rants. I don't want to hear none of that. I've never been supported by the EBT or the government or anything of that nature. I got one check out of that whole COVID situation, so I've always been relying on, can I find work to make sure I can take care of my family? And if I can do it, you can do it too. So put your focus and your energy into bettering yourself, making sure you're never in that circumstance again, and making sure that you're setting the tone for your kids and for your family just in general. But I'm gonna stop right here. I'm not, because if I keep going, I'm gonna go off. But you know what I'm saying? This is Jay's perspective. Please like, subscribe, hit the hype button, hit the notification button, whatever you got to do. This is what we do on this channel. This is the Green Pill community. We talk about what we want to talk about. I will put out there whatever you all want me to talk about, as long as I have knowledge on it. And at the end of the day, this is about accountability, self accountability. It doesn't matter whether you're 1 years old, 30 years old, 100 years old. Always have self accountability for any self mistakes that you make. But anyway, Green Pill community, this is Jay's perspective. Hope you guys are having a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out.